October 17, coming up on an all-new View. Funny man Richard Lewis is giving you his grim forecast for the upcoming election, telling you if he'll be spreading a little misery to your town soon. Then, the View crew's going to work for you when our Emmy-winning makeup artist shows you tricks of the trade that'll erase everything from dark circles, breakouts, acne scars, and more. Plus, stars of The Sweet Life on Deck, Dylan and Cole Sprouse are taking you inside Miley Cyrus's Sweet 16. Life as two of the biggest teen heartthrobs, and why they may walk away from the spotlight. All that, hot topics, and more coming up on The Red, the White, and The View.
To The View.
Yeah.
You came tipping out in those shoes.
I can't walk in any of the shoes I wear on the show.
But they look good. They are really cute. Who did those?
Stuart Weitzman, I think. But they're just, you know, they're just shoes to stand in and sit in. They're not shoes, these particular ones.
Not to walk in.
Not as mode of transportation.
We call them, those are shoes you just get out of the car in.
Yeah, that's right. That's
well,
right.
Can I just do Joy walking in? Because it was the greatest thing.
Sure.
I see this when... It's like, oh my God, she's gonna fall.
It's true. You made it here, though. You made it safe and sound.
I keep looking for like orthopedic shoes that look good, but you can't find them.
Not with the 5.5-inch heel.
Elizabeth designed shoes.
Yes.
Can you design?
That's what that's what I used to do. I used to design
orthopedic
shoes.
Shoes?
Yes, I was an
with a
industrial
heel?
designer.
So
Yes.
where is this line? Why don't we have these
I
shoes?
used to design shoes. I worked for Puma before in Reebok, and I designed shoes for them. And I still do design work now. If you want, I can work on a little outsole for you and
Thank you.
do a little
Yes.
something.
See?
If you are nice.
Okay.
I think connecting
Well,
people
that's
is really
asking too
important.
much.
Yeah, that's right. Now, listen, an Allure magazine article says the answer you want to hear to the "do I look fat" in this question all depends on your self-image. If you don't like your looks, you want a yes to confirm that you don't look good, even though it makes you feel lousy. What do you guys want to really hear?
You don't want a yes to that question. You never want a yes. You're not ever looking for a yes, actually. And by the way, it's not the dress that makes you look fat. It's you. You never want that answer.
They don't have to elaborate.
No, I don't want no answer. Just let me ask it, and then let me walk out of the room.
Do you want to hear a man say the truth?
I want to hear, if I say, do I look fat in this, I want them to go, no, baby, you the sexiest thing walking down the street. That's exactly what I want to hear. I know you all about honesty, Whoopi, but I don't want to hear, you know,
Then why put on why would you put on a dress that requires that question?
everything. It's not about the dress you put on.
But you can't say it's not about you. If you ask somebody, do I look fat in this dress, and this is somebody who cares about you and does not want you going out in it,
That's right.
looking ridiculous, why would you want them to lie?
You can ask your best friend. Right. You can ask your best friend.
But I'm not in the house with you.
Your boyfriend,
But if-
husband. Don't ask that question.
See, I want the person who I see the most to tell me the damn truth, because that's the only person who's supposed to tell you the truth. See, your friends are supposed to say, well, you know, But the man you're with is supposed to say, baby, I would rather see you buck naked in Macy's window than see you step out of the bathroom in that dress. It looks so bad on you.
Now, how many women, upon hearing that, would feel no resentment and no hurt feelings toward the man who just said that to them?
Hopefully, none of them. They would say, baby, it really looks that bad, and he would say, yeah, and you'd go back and you'd find something that feels better. The person you ask that question to, I think, has an obligation, if it's somebody you trust, to tell you the truth.
But I don't
and if
think
you don't
it's
have your
fair to
girlfriend in the
guys out
house,
because women ask it all the time. We constantly imagine, do I look fat in this? Do I look fat today? These jeans okay on me? We are constantly putting men in this
You will never be able to win being a man.
yeah. So tell them the truth.
No, you never will be able to win.
Men do not tell us the truth. We
Because
don't want
even
to hear
if you
it.
came back, the one day you came back and said, you know what, you look really good, I'm going to go, nuh-uh, because that's not what you said Tuesday at 3, you know.
So that makes no sense to me.
Just
What do you
let us
think,
ask
Joy?
the question and be a little psychotic sometimes.
I don't really care anymore. I don't. It's like,
I mean, do you care enough to ask him if you look like
Well,
that?
as you get older and they become legally blind, it becomes more of a loving thing, because then they say, no, you look thin, but they only can really see half of
I'm in
you.
trouble because Tim just had laser eye surgery.
Well, see, my better half has said to me, you really don't need to have that on. And I said, looks that bad? He said, baby, I couldn't let you go out. You wouldn't let me go out looking like this.
Okay, that's a nice way
I
to
said,
put
no,
it.
no, I wouldn't. You know, but now there's a new thing. There's a fat acceptance movement that says you can be fat and healthy, and the archives of internal medicine, my bad, found half of overweight and 1/3 of obese adults are not at higher risk for health problems.
How obese are we talking now?
Normally associated with weight. Now, I don't know how obese we're talking about, but I think that's quite interesting, because I've always thought that not everybody who was fat was overweight or obese. Some people are just big and healthy.
So medically, they're saying this is maybe not as bad as we're thinking, but socially, I don't believe that there's an okay with fat movement, because there's an increase in eating disorders amongst middle women, especially after you have kids. There's an increase in eating disorders. Middle-aged women are like the new group of women having eating disorders right now, on top of teens. And then you have all these magazines and ads that keep telling you that nobody's skinny enough, not even, you know, Nicole Richie when she was super thin, Paris, no one's skinny enough. So you have, I don't believe socially there's an okay with fat
Those
movement
girls
at
are
all.
still not skinny enough?
No. They just had Eva Longoria last week in a paper saying that she finally slimmed down. What's up with that? That is so not okay. And there's never, I don't know, we're in a really bad place with fat, I think.
It just seems like,
But you're into it. You're skinny.
I like to work out. I like to be fast.
Listen, but you would not like to be heavier. Come on.
I
Neither
don't
would
know.
I. I mean, no one wants
not
to
if
be.
it made. Look, I like to run fast. So if it made me slow, no. I like to run fast just in case someone's chasing me.
Nobody's going to ever say, I want to be heavy.
No,
or I want to
nobody ever says that.
Right, that's what I mean. Socially, there's not
Why
okay
can't we
with
just
fat
start
movement.
that movement? I want to be fat.
Well, there is a movement. There is a movement, and it was, I believe, one of the great folks that talks about this a lot is Monique.
Oh, yeah.
Talks about the fact, yes, I'm a big woman, and I'm a healthy big woman, and I don't have to be skinny. I think that's what they're talking about, that some women are saying, you know what, I'm never going to be Eva Longoria, but I'm not going to feel bad if I got a booty and 4 breasts.
Right, and the thing about it is, you know, when you're overweight, because they say when you have a lot of this girth, it really increases the apple shape. It increases the risk of diabetes, of hypertension, of a stroke. And so when you make healthy eating choices, weight just drops off. You're not supposed to be trying
on everybody.
I thought it was genetically. They said if you're predisposed to certain shapes, then those are actually more indicative of those diseases.
This is why having a fat ass works.
Nothing's associated
Because
with
you're
that.
better off with a big behind than
as
a
opposed
middle.
to me who gets it in their middle. But you know, moving, exercising, trying to eat. So don't just say I
Let's just
accept
do
the
some
way
butt
I look.
crunches right now while we sit here for the rest of the
Always do butt crunches, as I said.
I'm not doing bone crunches. It's the view.
I'm doing it right now. Me and Elizabeth. Come on, Elizabeth, we're doing it. Yeah, baby. Yeah. We're gonna do them to the side now. Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back with more butt crunches and Kegels and all kind of things. We'll be right back. For GQ magazine was looking for a more diverse group of friends. So he posted an ad on Craigslist titled, "Looking for African American Friend." Now, in a funny way, I guess that he discovered in the job that he had moved out of his normal group of friends, which had been quite diverse, and was traveling in areas where he was not finding as much diversity, and wanted to really see what would happen if he put this out there. So, I don't know. I just... You know, I don't know how many people are looking for black friends, but, you know, there's lots of black friends out there to be had. I mean, oh, my God.
I always had black friends. I had all sorts of different color friends when I was in high school. I went to Washington Irving High School in Manhattan.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
And they were all girls. There were all sorts of sexual proclivities also there, you know, a lot of different kinds of people. And then you kind of move to the suburbs, you know, you go with your husband, and then there's all these white people around. And then...
Ain't that the truth?
And you're like,
Interesting.
You know? Will you be my black friend?
It's like that Mr. Rogers song, huh?
Will you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my black friend?
I'm so glad you remembered. You know, I thought, okay, I'm all alone.
Here. No,
She made her way over there.
How about you, Elizabeth? Would you like to have a black friend too?
I would love to be your black friend.
Oh, you want to be? You know, if you look at that on the reverse side, I remember we lived in Chicago, but we weren't around a lot of white people. And my father moved us to the suburbs of Chicago, and it was so right in the middle of Roots. I remember that, and it was so many. But it was funny because the white kids would ask us, "Do you have somebody named Toby in your family?" That was a question all the time, and I had never seen a lot of white people. I'd never been around them, and they had never been around a lot of black people, and we learned a lot about each other.
Right.
And some of my closest, dearest friends are still back from Hoffman Estates, Illinois, who are white people.
You know, I had a black girlfriend one time who said that white people, see if this is true, serious really, is white people start to talk about black issues only when there are black people with them. That normally white people don't even discuss black issues, but then now a black person's in the situation, and suddenly it's like, what do you think about segregation, and what do you think about Martin Luther King Day? Yeah, all of a sudden it becomes a topic. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when I used to work on the sitcoms, because I was usually the only black girl on the show, and they would come and ask me questions, and it would just be like, I don't feel like being a lone representative for all the black people.
Like the spokesperson
the
for black
spokesperson,
people.
because it was just like, here's the opportunity
Did you find that at all? Do you think it's true?
I grew up in New York.
Yeah.
So the idea of anyone being not represented seemed very strange to me. But I will say that when I was in Hollywood, what I discovered was that oftentimes when you talk to some of the higher ups, the only black people they actually knew had been people who had either taken care of them as children or who had worked for their families, because we're talking about, you know, the
50s, 40s.
These are the guys that I would be working with. So people would say that, remember we talked about a long time when I first got here, that thing, you're so articulate.
Right.
That all comes from that time period where people were going, really? You like art? I'm so surprised.
Yeah, it's so condescending.
But it's because what they know about black people is what they were taught and what they saw. So they had no idea. So people would say to me, how did you get interested in this? And I'd say, well, I grew up and I'd go to the Met with my mom. You know, or we'd go to a Lincoln Center to hear Leonard Bernstein conduct. And they'd go, you really? I said, yeah, me.
But you know what?
Something like that happened to me, too. I mean, I was asked to introduce Luciano Pavarotti one time, and people were like, well, how come you know? Well, I grew up in an Italian family. We heard opera. I was an opera fan. My mother used to create her own operas, you know, and it was like a thing, and yet I felt that it was a little bit patronizing, frankly.
Because they assumed that was what you should do.
Why would you know about opera?
Right.
Yeah.
There are sometimes I see where I go, you need a black friend. Like I saw two men, there were two partners, and they had adopted a little black girl, and her hair was all over the place. And I was like, you need me to be your friend, because I need to do this little baby's hair. Free of charge.
Well,
you just donate your service.
Yeah, donate my service.
well, speaking of hair, you bring up an interesting thing. A new study found that women who dye their hair blonde really do have more fun being a blonde. Apparently, blondes boost their confidence and make themselves more sexually assertive.
Wow.
I myself have never found that to be the problem. You know, but
the problem is the fun sort of withers, is like your roots get bigger and bigger right there. So like I have less fun as the month of the blonde goes away. It's
well,
like,
see, I mean, if the curtains match the rug.
Right.
Mine don't. Which part of the drapery are we talking about? At the root or the...
Well, but every blonde woman I talk to...
I'm half Italian and half Polish. I am fully brunette.
Yeah, but you have a lot of fun being a blonde. You get a lot more attention.
I think I'd have fun either way. You think so?
My
But you know what? She's a Republican. They're all blondes.
They are.
That is not true.
It is, except for Sarah Palin.
Sarah Palin has highlights. I've noticed a couple little highlights in her
If they win, she'll be blonde, believe me. And she'll get if she loses, she'll be blonde and have a job on Fox TV, because they're all blonde over there. True or not true?
That's such a... I don't think
Ann
it's...
Coulter, Laura Ingraham, Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Please don't, whoa.
Sorry.
Please don't put me going in the same sentence as Ann Coulter.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, she's a Republican.
And let's clear this up. Are you going anywhere?
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, let's just get that out of the
To
way.
get my highlights fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, the Fox thing? No.
I love Fox. I'm staying here.
I just want to clear that
Everybody
up.
asks me. People are constantly stopping me. Is Elizabeth leaving and going to Fox? So
I get it
tell
all the
them
time, too.
outright again. I am not
I
saying.
am not leaving The
You
View.
are not
I certainly
leaving
love my ladies
us.
here. I am not going anywhere.
Just before we go, what did you go see? It was interesting.
I
'cause
went to
Richard
see
Lewis
the
is coming
movie
up, but we wanna talk
W,
about this, yeah.
which is an indictment against George W. Bush.
Was it a good movie?
It's fabulous.
So you liked it. So
And it's incredible how close George Bush and Sarah Palin are. Just saying.
So
Oh, gosh, can we please talk about this before I puke?
The reason I bring this up is because Richard Lewis is coming out, and he's always
Yeah.
funny, and I'm just curious as to whether he thinks comedy is going to have any role in, or comedy or films or anything that is artistic is going to have any role on picking and deciding what this next 4 years is going to be like that. So we're going to go and come back with Richard Lewis.
Yeah. Guest today was wearing black long before the current financial crisis. Whether he's on Curb Your Enthusiasm or in his one-man show called Misery Loves Company, Richard Lewis never has a nice day. Please welcome back the very disgruntled Richard Lewis.
I didn't say that. Do I smell of salmon?
No, you don't.
I love you, and thank you. Time out. I'm a recovering drug addict for 15 years. Every day is special for me, so I love my life. So that's a lie right away.
And you know what? The black makes you look thin.
This is good. When I met you when you were a hooker and you wore these.
Well, you know, you do it once and they call you a hooker.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this right away. I go online in the morning. Hi, kids.
Hi.
And these are nice sneakers. When I did peyote, I thought those were, sandals. I didn't do peyote. Now, listen, this show has been so hot.
I know.
And I turn it on. I want to watch what's going on in the news, and all of a sudden, I see like a slow-mo of you diving over and tackling her, and I go, how? I have never been. I'm never on any of these things. So let me just say a couple of things. Maybe I can get on one of these AOL things.
What's bugging you? Okay.
Okay. I mean,
See the response? Nobody cares.
Light bulb in.
Oh, okay.
No, we knew you would never make love to me.
No.
We made love.
We made love.
We were trying to, and then when I showed a picture of JFK, you threw me out of the bed. Remember that? You were too young, but you wanted to watch me. See, that won't make it because everyone knows. But all these things get on.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of these people, you people are honest about your intentions, and I am too.
Yeah.
Whether I believe in them or not, I believe in most 4/5 of the And first of all, I've been nice to you. Haven't I not been nice to you?
Yes, totally.
Okay,
Absolutely. Yes.
really. And but I just feel like congratulations on all the.
What drug are you on right now?
Let me tell you right now, you were talking about all the weight and the thin. The thing that makes, first of all, I could care less when I see these actors and actresses. They make millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They have blessed lives. I could care less whether they dyed their hair, they're on a diet only eating raisins and prunes. Who cares? I care about the country. I care about the state of affairs.
Yes.
And quite frankly, I've dated every color. I was like a consensual UN womanizer, quite frankly.
But for the past 3 years, you've been married.
Huh?
Married now,
but
3 years.
I would give up every wonderful. No, I've been married, but I would give up every fantastic African-American great love affair for one African-American president, to be quite frank. I would. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not
sorry.
against having an African-American black president. I'm not against that.
A lot of you just vote. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Go ahead.
No, what did you say?
No, I said I'm not opposed to having a black president.
Oh, I know you're not.
Yeah,
I know you're not.
I just got to make it clear.
By the way, can I just say right now, I live in Hollywood, high in the hills, and I can actually see Jersey City from my house, so I can actually run for governor. All right, I won't go there. Let's just ask me questions. I just love this.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So we've been sort of seeing the different kinds of
3 minutes. There's no way I'm getting out of here in 3 minutes.
We've been watching a lot of the different movies. You know, there's the sort of Republican-based movies and Democratic-based movies coming. Do you think humor can actually help decide who is going to be the next president? Do you think any of this matters? Do you think it's really about what the people need?
I think 45% of the country are happy with where they stand. They might laugh at a movie, and here's the deal. The Constitution has been trampled the last 8 years, period.
Right.
This is not what this America is supposed to be for.
Right.
I have friends who, if they're pregnant and they don't want to have a child, I go, oh, God, I respect that. It's the reverse. This country is a reasonably great country, about 85%, I'm just making that up. It's the fundamentalists that are screwing this up. And so I think the comedy will mean nothing.
Well, so it doesn't have, you don't think it has any effect?
10% of the people who are going to have to say, do we want to have the country that the founders wanted, or do we want to just screw up this whole amazing idea to have the greatest country in the world? And that's what's going down. I don't think the art has anything to do with it. I think it's our right.
Well, Tina Fey has influenced their opinion of Sarah Palin. I was reading that the other day.
No, it's this audience who's going to go in and vote for how they feel.
And they say that the satire of the woman shows how she is, and they don't like it.
Oh, of course.
So it worked. Tina Fey was influential.
Yeah, but 20 people is not. There's a lot of people who are going to vote. It's about.
So you are you just started filming the 7th season of Curb, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Curb. When I went to Rome, I went on a honeymoon with my wife. I forgot because I had a show here, and I forgot. And I went to Rome, and it's so when you're going to you're seeing the Sistine Chapel. And someone comes over and goes like this, what's Larry David really like? It's just so depressing. I want to look at, this Michelangelo. It's tragic. But I'm starting Curb with Larry, I know, and it's great. And I'm happy to be married to my wife for 3 years.
But you just
I fell in
on
love.
a honeymoon?
Well, I forgot because I was a drug addict and I forgot, My grandfather used to freebase Manischewitz. It started early.
You're going to be in Washington, D.C. on your Misery Love Company tour.
Town Hall. I'm doing with Belzer. That's going to be sort of trippy.
Nice.
But look, I just wanted this. It's going to be a fantastic year this year because the country now has an opportunity. I know I'm not being very funny, but this is such an important election for this country that I hope everyone just gets up and votes. Right. Particularly the young kids who never voted before.
They are.
And let's be part of this process,
Yeah.
And this is not one of my funny shots on this show, but I can't be funny on a situation where this country is so divided. Yeah. We have to make a choice, and I pray to God everybody just gets out of their house and goes to the voting booth.
Absolutely.
That's how
Absolutely,
I feel.
Richard. Thank you for coming on with us. And Richard, if you are in Washington, D.C. Saturday night, be sure to check Richard out at the Lisner Auditorium. We'll be right back. An entire Emmy award-winning hair and makeup crew that makes sure we hit the table every day looking good. And today, one of them is here solving our viewers' most common and uncommon skincare dilemmas. Please welcome our makeup artist and our girl, Karen DePeche. First of all, whooping about Karen. Karen always looks fly. Every day.
Well, yeah, Karen has her style that makes it just fantastic because you never want to go to a makeup artist who looks scary.
No. And I'm going to say, even when we went to Costa Rica, because she had to do my makeup in Costa Rica, Karen went to bed looking like this, and she woke up at 6 in the morning looking like this. You are so amazing.
And she is able to do amazing things. So
she does Elizabeth, and she does me, and everybody else. And on occasion, she does you and got her Emmy. So you know what? We're so glad that you are here, and we want to bring up the first woman. This is Anne Marie. So can you please tell us what you did to Anne Marie?
Anne-Marie is a 31-year-old woman that has problem skin and issues that related to every woman. She has dark circles, she has rosacea, she has dryness underneath her nose, and she has thin lips, so she wants a fuller lip effect. So what I've done is I've added a concealer underneath her eyes. I blended out with foundation to give her more of an even skin. Put some powder on, and on her eyes, I added an eye primer. Ladies, you gotta use an eye primer because it keeps your shadow on all day, prevents them from creasing.
Is that what an eye primer is?
Yes, and then you wanna pat the shadow on so that it'll stay on. With the eyeliner, I used a wet brush with the shadow, and I lined very close to the lash line. You go back and forth, and it gives you more of a natural look.
If you do close.
And as far as with the mascara tips, ladies, you wanna put your finger on your eyelid, and what it does is it prevents the mascara from creasing and on your eyeshadow.
Okay.
So it gives you more natural look.
All right, well, let's see what Anne-Marie looks like right now.
And here's Anne-Marie.
Here's Anne-Marie. You look very good, Anne-Marie. I interrupted you, Karen. Excuse me, I interrupted you because I know you said that Anne-Marie wanted fuller lips.
Yes.
So what
with
did you...
the full lip, what you can do is you can sketch a liner. You want to sketch it over the lip liner, and so that you look a lot more natural. You want to use natural colors and not use a dark liner because then it gives you that hard look.
How do you feel, girl? You look good.
I feel great. I think my skin looks amazing, my lips, everything. I think I look wonderful.
Is this something you can do at home? Do you feel comfortable about it?
If not, I have to call Karen. Yeah.
Well, good job. You look really, really good. Let's go to our second person. Next up is Michelle. So can you tell us what you did to Michelle?
Michelle is a 29-year-old woman that has acne, and as a child, as a teenage years, the acne has scarred her so that she has it on both sides of her cheeks.
Okay.
So what I did was I used a corrective concealer to cover up the redness over her skin and, you know, to the areas that needed to be done. And then I used a natural foundation to give her more of an evenness all over. Then I used a loose powder, because loose powder gives you more of a natural look instead of using the press. And then I contoured her nose to give her the illusion of having a thinner nose effect, and I did her cheeks. And with her cheeks, what it does is it structures her bone. It gives her more of a bone structure.
Also makes you look like you have the bones and the contouring,
and plus
just
it
like...
gives her more of a chiseled look.
Okay, well,
So
let's see what Michelle looks like. Turn around, Michelle. Blended it in so you can't even...
Yeah, but I contoured her and her cheeks and her nose.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's blended and it looks really good.
No, because you want to use the brush and you want to brush it in so that it look more natural, so you won't have to line.
Okay. Well, Michelle, how do you feel with your look?
I'm really excited. It looks really great. I've been trying to cover my acne for a long time now, and so
it looks like fabulous. Your skin is glowing. I can't tell that you have scars from the acne.
Yeah,
or the acne.
So, I mean, it's great, and you're using something that will not irritate her. You're using natural products.
Yes.
And that's important. Yeah. You look fantastic. Not that you didn't look fantastic before, but you look really fantastic now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. You look fine. So last up, we're talk about what you did to Natasha.
Natasha is a 23-year-old woman that has a skin condition. It's called vitiligo.
Vitiligo.
And with the vitiligo, what it does is it causes her to lose pigmentation to her skin at the age of 7. Now, Natasha is very comfortable with how she looks. She doesn't wear makeup, but today she allows me to make her look glamorous.
Okay.
So what I did was I used the Dermablend foundation all over to fill in where she lost her pigmentation, and I use it with a synthetic blush because it gives more of a natural look. Then I used a foundation, and you pat it so that it'll match naturally to her skin, so that you won't see the difference between the actually so that it can fill in with the darks, fill in with the lightness of her skin. And being that she lost pigmentation on her lip, I added it on her lips so that she have more of a natural lip tone.
All right, well,
here comes Natasha.
Let's see what Natasha looks like. Turn around, girl.
Beautiful.
Don't wear makeup. So this is, you let Karen do the makeup on you. How do you feel?
I feel wonderful. Better than I thought I would. I really like it. I think it looks really nice.
And you went out walking on the streets for the first time with the makeup.
It was very different because normally people are staring and, today I walked and it was like, oh, she looks pretty, but it wasn't like the stare how they usually. I feel good.
It looks good. Yes. Now your parents are here, and when your dad saw you, what did he say?
He said, your mom is gonna cry, but he had tears in his eyes. He was crying, and she cried also, so they love it.
Is it something that you might do any other time?
I would try it again. I would.
You would try to, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
You just have a beautiful
Either
spirit.
way, absolutely.
Good job, Miss Karen DePease. This is our girl. We'll be right back with Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
You took my card? Well, you left it lying around. It was in my wallet, under my pillow, guarded by Mr. Snuggle Bear. So I didn't put up much of a fight. Zach, that was all the money we had for food for the entire semester. Well, why didn't you tell me that before I took your card?
We love these guys. Their show is called The Sweet Life on Deck, but for the twin brothers who play Zach and Cody, who have reached the height of teen megastardom, life is even sweeter. Please welcome Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Can I tell you what Dylan and Cole just said?
What?
He goes, you are the sexiest thing I ever... Who said that?
You're the sexiest thing to walk down the street.
You remember, thank you. That's what you want to hear.
They were listening.
They were listening.
You just turned 16 , right?
We
Together?
did. August 4th.
August 4th, congratulations. And you celebrated Nintendo threw you guys this huge party. I mean, not every 16-year-old gets that. What was the best part?
It was pretty awesome, you know. Nintendo sponsored the whole event. Yeah. You know, there were a lot of very gorgeous women dressed as Mario and Luigi, so it was kind of like our favorite childhood characters.
Yes, I love that.
In a gorgeous women form. So it was like, this is an awesome party already. None of our friends have to be here.
Does it surprise you guys ever? I mean, you started the show when you were 13, right? And you have such a strong following.
Actually, we started when we were 11.
Oh, you were 11 when you started. But your fan base, I mean, is so huge. Do you ever, when you're walking down the street and girls are like going crazy, do you ever look at each other like, what is happening?
Honestly, the first year, Dylan and I were baffled by the whole thing. Disney already has a huge girl fan base.
Yes. Yeah.
It's primarily girls, and you know,
Lucky for you.
Thankfully, you know, we're really thankful that we have such a huge following, and we're so happy. It's all thanks to Disney, though.
We heard we were at Miley Cyrus's party, right? That you guys were at in Disneyland. Another big, you're social.
I mean, tell us about that.
Miley's, you know. Oh yes. What honestly can you get a girl who has Disneyland? Let's be real here. It was huge. You know, it was first of all it was the longest red carpet that I've ever seen. It was purple carpet. Excuse me. That's what they were calling it. And yes, we rode down cars actually, and down the red carpet. It was just insanity.
Did you feel like you were doing a lot more work as opposed to celebrating her birthday?
I feel we got to have a lot of fun, but Miley, I didn't see her having too much fun. I'll be honest. It was a lot of work. She worked a lot, but I think at the end we left a little bit early. But I think at the end she actually went around the park and got to ride on the rides.
But don't you have more fun because the two of you? Because there's two of you?
Yeah. We also had a lot of our friends there. You're talking about the show, the two of us?
It's just that you're working together all the time, so you always have each other.
We do, and you know, and it's also like, I mean, we live together, we eat together, we school together, we do work together. So it's like
something to prepare you for marriage. But here's my question. Here's my real question. How do you guys, you've seen all the craziness that happens with teenagers who are in the situations that you're in. They're doing really well. They have great shows. Who keeps you grounded? What keeps you grounded?
Well, you know, we started, basically, our mom put us in the business when we were really, really, really little. We were about 8 months old when we started, and we did a diaper commercial. And then from then to 5 years old, we did Grace Under Fire.
Yes.
And then from that, we went to do Big Daddy.
Which one was that? Do you know which one of you was
I have
that was me.
No clue. That's Cole.
Wait, love Big Daddy. You guys are great at that.
How was it working with Adam Sandler? I'm sorry, I didn't remember.
He's kind of he's a pretty shy guy. Like you wouldn't
think that he's shy at first, but he really does open up. The great thing is he has a comedy for all ages.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make you laugh if you're 90 or 10. It really doesn't matter.
I interrupted you because you didn't answer Whoopi's question about how do you make it in there.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we've done it at 6 years old. Oh, I have the worst. Okay, at 6 years old, we went to do Big Daddy, and you know, after that, we did a couple of things here and there, but we had a really, really slow streak in acting for about 2 years, and so you know. When Disney came to us with the offer, The Sweet Life, we were really grateful, and you know that's just kept us from there. You see, some people get in the business, like kids on Disney. Some people get in the business just to be famous, and you know that right there decides it all.
Right.
We get in the business because we love to work, we love to act.
You know, I have to ask you because inquiring mothers want to know, how do you get your hair like that?
I love your bangs.
How do you do that? Does that naturally fall like that, or do you?
It's
do you
sunshine. I just go outside and flip my hair.
No, seriously. Do you tease it up a little?
Actually, all we really do is, you know, we go into the shower and we use shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
And then we get out.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then we take the towel and we're like,
And so you shine your head.
yes, so we buff it. And
then you blow it? You blow dry?
No, actually we don't. I just towel it off and I just comb it. I just comb it to the side.
Can I just ask you, are you guys identical twins or fraternal twins?
Honestly, at this point, we don't even know anymore.
Your mother would know.
Yeah, we started out looking really identical, but then as we grew, we just kind of spread apart.
What's the biggest difference between you guys?
No, they are identical.
I think they're identical.
Yeah.
Seriously, because people group you together sometimes. Biggest difference between the two of you?
Now, you know, as we're growing older, we're starting to look the same again, but we had an awkward moment where we didn't look at all the same. Biggest difference probably right now is height. Cole.
Okay. What about personality?
Cole's tall.
Oh, I'm the best.
Wait a minute. Finish each other's sentences.
You really do. We do, actually. That's the only twin thing we have going for us. Otherwise, we're very bad twins. I'll tell you.
Are there any girlfriends? Do you have anybody kind of interested in?
Yeah, right now. I have a girlfriend, yes.
Okay. What if you both like the same girl? What happens then?
You want to know how it goes? I'll tell you. It's whoever gets to try and flirt with the girl, depending on if we like the same girl, whoever gets to flirt with the girl, it honestly depends on who is more pathetic at the time. I'm not even completely serious. See, if Cole hasn't had a girlfriend for, say, a good year and a half, I will be like, well, Cole, you're really pathetic right now. Why don't you go after her?
That's how it goes. I like that setup. Very good. Very sweet.
I love you guys. I love you. Please come back again. We had such a good time with you today. We wish you both the best of luck. Our thanks to Dylan and Cole Sprouse. The Sweet Life on Deck airs Friday nights on the Disney Channel. Check it out. We'll be right back. You guys are...
You know, first of all, if you want makeup tips, go to the website, the ABC website, and you can find out how Karen did all that wonderful work she did. And today is Friday, and a week from today, October 24th, you and I, Whoopi, are going to be at Foxwoods in Connecticut together.
Yeah.
So have a great day, everyone, and take a little time to enjoy the view.